Hello and welcome. I am Ashwant from English Lovers. In this lesson, I am going to teach you the verbs be, have, and do, and how they are used as main verbs and auxiliary verbs in the sentences. Friends, I have made separate videos on each one of them where I have taught how the present and past forms of these verbs are used in affirmative, negative, and interrogative sentences. You can watch these videos by clicking the top right corner of your screen. So friends, let us begin.
We, have, and do have very important role to play in spoken language as well as written language. So we are going to study how these verbs function as main verbs in the sentence and how they function as auxiliary verb or helping verb in the sentence. So first of all, we will see the verb be. So there are different forms of this verb. So these forms are there out on the screen. Base form or infinitive form is to be. Present form of be is am, is, and are. Past form of be verb is was and were. Past participle is been. And present participle, or it is also called as ing form, it is being. So these are the different forms of verb be. So we are going to study how this verb be functions as a main verb in the sentence and how it functions as an auxiliary or helping verb in the sentence. So we will see with some examples and we'll try to understand. So here are some sentences. We are going to study these sentences and we are going to see how be functions as a main verb in these sentences. So he is a policeman. So there is only verb in all these sentences. Only one verb is there, which is colored in green. You can see in all these sentences, and it is the main verb. So in the first sentence, he is a policeman. Is the verb, be verb, and it is the only verb. So we say that it is the main verb. My hands are cold. Here are is the verb, only verb, so main verb. Jenny is 18 years old. So is the verb, it is the only verb, and it is the main verb. Are your shoes new? So here are is the be verb, it is the only verb, so functions as main verb. The weather was good last week. Here was is the verb from the simple past or past form of be verb. So here we can say that was is the only verb and it is the main verb. In the next two sentences, we were hungry after the journey and why were you late this evening? In both these sentences, were, which is the plural form of be verb in the past, it functions as a main verb in the sentences. So in all these sentences, be form, either it is present form out of am, is, are, or past form out of was and were, function as a main verb in the sentence. Be verb also functions as auxiliary verb or helping verb in the sentences. In the previous session, we have seen that how be verb functions as a main verb in the sentence. Now here we are going to see how it functions as an auxiliary verb with the help of these sentences. So there are two cases where be verb or its form functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb in the sentences. One is the progressive aspect of the tense. May it be present progressive tense or may it be past progressive tense. Progressive means continuous. You can say present continuous tense or past continuous tense. So in the continuous aspect of these tenses, be verb functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb. How we are going to study? So see these sentences. John is sleeping in the room. I am reading a novel. They are playing in the park. Now in all these sentences, there is be verb in the present form. So in the first sentence it is, in the second it is am, and in the third it is are. And the verb is in its ing form. So here sleeping is the main verb, and in the next sentence reading is the main verb. In the third sentence playing is the main verb, and is in the first, am in the second, and are in the third function as an auxiliary verb or helping verb. And these three sentences are in present progressive tense. Now see the next two sentences. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. Now this sentence is in past continuous or past progressive because here the past form of be verb was and were are used. The next sentence, what were you doing? Here also the past form of be verb were is used and ing form is there. So these two sentences, fourth and fifth one, they are in the past continuous tense, and there also the form of be, that is was and were. Here was is used because it is singular, the sun is singular subject, and here were is used because the birds is the plural subject. So in both these sentences, the form of be functions as an auxiliary or helping verb. Now see these two sentences, butter is made from milk, or oranges are imported into Britain. Now both these sentences are in simple present tense, but it is the passive aspect. It is the passive aspect of simple present. So in the passive aspect of simple present, here in these two sentences, why it is passive aspect? Because see this verb, main verb made, it is in its past participle form. In the next sentence also imported, here also this verb imported is in its past participle form, and we know that in passive voice we use past participle of the verb. But here also there is a be verb in its present form, so we say a simple present tense passive aspect, and this be verb functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb. We will see some more examples. Now here are some sentences, and with these sentences we are going to study how be functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb in the sentences. The first sentence is the office is cleaned every day. Now here is the form of be in the present form, and cleaned is the past participle of the verb. So here this tense is simple present tense in its passive aspect, so passive voice of simple present tense. Now these two sentences, just pay attention. This house was built 100 years ago, and these houses were built 100 years ago. Now here was and in the next were, these are the be forms in past tense. Why was? Because this is singular subject, this house, and why were? Because these houses, it is plural subject, and built is the past participle, so we say that this is passive aspect. But which is the tense? This tense is simple past tense, so the passive aspect of simple past tense is there, and was and were function as an auxiliary or helping verb. The next two sentences, the office is being cleaned at the moment. Now here is and being, both of them, they function as auxiliary verb or helping verbs. And here in the next sentence, some new houses are being built opposite the park. Here also are and being, they function as helping verbs or auxiliary verbs, and the main verb in the first is clean and in the next is built, which is past participle. So these two sentences are also in its passive form, but the tense is as being is there, so the tense is present continuous tense or present progressive tense, but the aspect is passive aspect. Now the last one, they were being questioned. Now here where is the auxiliary in its past form, being is the again auxiliary of be, and question is the main verb. Now here this is also passive aspect because question is in its past participle form, the verb question, and where and being, they function as auxiliary in the sentence. Which tense is this? This is past continuous tense or past progressive tense. So in these sentences, so in the present continuous tense, in the past continuous tense, we have seen how be functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb. Now next is have verb. Again we are going to study the forms of this verb have. So again there are 5 forms. Base form or infinitive form is to have. Present form, in present form there are 2 verbs of have. They are have and has. We know that I have, we have, you have, he, she, it has, they have. So in this way, I have made a separate video on have and its present and past forms have, has and had, which you can watch by clicking the top right corner of your screen. The past form is had, past participle is also had, and present participle or ing form is having. So we are going to study how these forms, they function as main verb in the sentence and how they function as an auxiliary or helping verb in the sentence. So here are some examples where have functions as a main verb in the sentences. So in all these sentences, in every sentence there is only one verb. and it is colored in green. So in the first, I have blue eyes. So here have functions as a main verb. It is the only verb. In the next, Tim has two sisters, has functions as main verb, the only verb in the sentence. In the third, they have three dogs and two cats. Here also there is only verb, which is have, and it is main verb. In the next sentence, he had a heart attack. So here had is the past form of have, and it is the only verb. So we say that it is the main verb in the sentence. Or in the last sentence, Sarah had a car. Here also had is the only verb, which is the past form of have, and it is the only verb, so it is main verb. So in all these sentences, the form of have, either it is have, has, or had from the past, function as a main verb in the sentence. Now we are going to study how have functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb in the sentence. Now see these examples. He has lost his key. I have bought a new car. Charles and Sarah have gone to Brazil. The room has been cleaned. I haven't been invited. So in these 5 examples, there is one common thing, and that thing is that these 5 sentences, they are all in present perfect tense. So present perfect tense is has or have plus past participle of the verb. So here he has is the auxiliary and lost is the main verb, and this tense is present perfect. In the next, have is the auxiliary and bought is the main verb. In the next, have is again auxiliary and gone is main verb. In the next, has is auxiliary. Here been is also auxiliary and the main verb is cleaned. Now what is the difference in these 3 sentences and the 4th and 5th one? So there is one difference. All these 5 sentences, they belong to present perfect tense, but in the 4th and 5th sentences, the passive aspect of present perfect is used. So here the room has been cleaned. You can say that the room has been cleaned by somebody, okay, or by my brother. So here it is passive aspect. In the next sentence also, I haven't been invited. So here invited is the main verb and have and been, they function as auxiliary. This is also passive aspect of present perfect, because you can say I haven't been invited by my relatives. So here these 2 sentences are also in present perfect, but the passive aspect, and the first 3 sentences are in present perfect tense. Now the last is the room had been cleaned. Now here had and been, both of them, they function as auxiliary and there is main verb as clean. Now here this is past perfect tense in its passive aspect. So remember, where have functions as an auxiliary verb, it functions in present perfect tense, it functions in past perfect tense, and also the passive aspect of present perfect tense and the passive aspect of past perfect tense. There is another verb, that is do verb. So we are going to study its forms and with some examples how it functions as a main verb and auxiliary verb in the sentences. So the forms again are 5 forms. First is base form or infinitive, which is to do. Next is present form. In present there are 2 verbs, do and does. Does is used for he, she and it, and do is used for the rest of the pronouns. There is only one past form, that is did. There is past participle done, and present participle or ing form, that is doing. So we will see with some examples how it functions as main and auxiliary verb in the sentences. So here, how do functions as a main verb. With these sentences we will try to understand. You must do your work. Now here in this example, do functions as a main verb because there is another verb too, that is modal auxiliary, but it functions as auxiliary or helping verb. Now there is another word here, work, but it is not the verb, it is noun here. Okay, so don't get confused with this word. There are only 2 verbs, one is auxiliary must and the main verb do. Next sentence, can't you do it by yourself? Here also there is main verb do and there is another verb, that is modal auxiliary can in its negative form can't. Next, we do a lot of different things in our free time. So here, do is the main verb. There is only one verb in the sentence and it is the do. So we say that it is the main verb in the sentence. Now, with some other examples, we will see how it functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb in the sentences. So in the first sentence, you don't work very hard. Now here, work is verb. Here it is verb and here it is main verb, and there is the form of do, which is do here because the pronoun is you or the subject is you, and it functions as auxiliary or helping verb. In the next sentence, they don't go to the cinema very often. Here go is the main verb and do or the negative form don't is the here helping verb or auxiliary verb. Where do your parents live? Here live is the main verb and do is the helping verb or auxiliary verb. And doesn't speak Italian. Here speak is the main verb and does is there the form of do, and it functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb. Do you know him? So here know is the main verb and the form of do, that is do, functions as auxiliary or helping. Now next sentence is from simple past tense. I didn't buy a magazine. So here did is the past form of do, which functions as auxiliary or helping verb, and buy is the main verb. Next is, did you enjoy the party? Here also the past form of do, that is did, is used as an auxiliary and the main verb is enjoy. So here in all these examples, do functions as an auxiliary verb or helping verb. Here is the exercise based upon the things that you learned in this lesson. So there are some examples where you are going to put the correct form of be, have and do, which is given in the bracket. One of the forms is the correct. If you want, you can pause the video, then go back to the earlier session, then again come back. Okay, so here are the answers. So we are going to see one by one. What is she buying now? So here, as buying is there, so and now is there, so you can understand that it is present progressive tense and the verb is the correct verb. Next is snakes don't have legs. Here snakes is in its plural form and so don't is there. I am writing a poem. Here also this is present continuous tense, and in present continuous tense for the subject I, the helping verb used is am. Many apples have fallen down. Now here fallen is the past participle of the verb fall, and here subject is many apples, which is plural. So here the plural form of have verb, that is have, is there, have fallen, and the tense is present perfect tense. This dog doesn't bark at night. The tense is simple present tense. This dog is the singular subject, so the appropriate form of do verb is does, in its negative doesn't. Have you eaten at? Now here eaten is the verb, which is past participle of the verb eat, eat, and as there is another adverb, that is yet, so from that you can understand that it is the present perfect tense. So the correct verb form of have is have, because you is there. Have you eaten? What book are you reading now? So now is there, so continuous aspect. Reading is there, so ing form is there. So what you need to put is are, that is the appropriate form of be verb. Now again next sentence is present perfect tense, because invited is past participle of invite, and so subject is you, so have is their appropriate form of have. Next is my son is doing his homework. Now here also doing is in its ing form, and my son, so it is third person singular, so you need is present continuous tense. And the next is present perfect tense, because finished is the past participle of finish, and here you need the appropriate form of have. So John is the subject, third person singular, so has is the appropriate form of have. So has John finished his work? I hope you have got the right answers. Let me know in the comments box how many of you have got the right answers. And also, I tell you one thing, that I have made separate videos on the verbs be, have and do, which you can watch by clicking the top right corner of your screen.
Friends, I hope you understood this lesson. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. And if you are new to my channel, remember to subscribe it to get the latest notifications of my videos right here on YouTube. Enjoy learning, and I'll see you soon in another lesson.